Alright, let's get into it. I want to make this one quick because I'm getting really tired, and by the time I get this one uploaded, I'll have been awake for like 22 hours. Okay, so D&D is like painless, harmless, and kind of ineffective. This movie's not going to change your life, which yes, I can understand could be frustrating for many longtime D&D fans, but my theater was full of you guys and you laughed the loudest, so I think if you're a fan of the D&D game, this one's a pleaser. Personally, I've never played myself. I did buy the 5th edition starter pack, but I have no friends to play it with, so honestly I can't relate super well to those expecting this to be a crowd pleaser because you like the game. Speaking on this one, like it's a film. I'd like to address this as like a 2-hour movie, but it feels about 2 hours and 20 minutes-ish. There's a few minor pacing issues, but nothing keeping me from enjoying what was ever going on. I just think I would have preferred to see it for like an afternoon activity, so I wasn't pressured by how late it was getting. There's about 2 different ending climaxes, and I think it could have been pulled into one if they dusted up on the writing a few more times. Most of my issues with the movie are like plot/character development and dialogue, so essentially just the writing. One character in particular, played by Michelle Rodriguez, was extremely poorly written. She had the worst lines of dialogue, and her performance was definitely not selling any of these lines. I was honestly cringing anytime she had a line or like a quip or her saying something that makes me think this movie was taking itself more seriously than it should have. She's like the only semi-bad character though. Her backstory is somewhat minimal and she feels pretty shallow. Chris Pine's character, or anyone else for that matter, but specifically Chris Pine, was really good. I think he did a great job being a leading man and he had really good comedic timing. There's a character arc of this wizard character that was actually like surprisingly pretty good. So that just leaves Michelle Rodriguez's character, who again I just think needed some more work. It's nothing against her herself. Truth be told, I think this film was trying to ride the line between making a full-on fantasy adventure, completely diving into the D&D nerdy stuff, and between making it a little bit more comedic and less nerdy for mainstream audiences to be able to handle. I wish it would have picked a place to land, like being a comedy or a more serious, tonally appropriate action film, rather than try and juggle both and not live up to its potential, which really sucks because I would have liked this movie to lean more towards humor because the comedy is actually really good. Like, I don't laugh aloud at movies usually, especially at the theater. I want to say most jokes landed and 4 got an audible laugh out of me, one of which received an applause from my audience. The writer and director was the kid from Freaks and Geeks, and he knows comedy. He's made some funny stuff that I really like. I just wish there was a little bit more funny instead of trying to balance it between the movie taking itself seriously and a movie having a good time with itself and ultimately not living up to its potential for both. A wise man once said,
"Never half-ass 2 things. Whole-ass 1 thing."
On top of the comedy being pretty great, I want to say that this movie is very creative in its presentation as well. There's several like dynamic camera shots and mesmerizing segments. For example, there's a 3-minute long one take where a character is escaping something and the camera sweeps through several locations, still tracking on the same subject. It was then when I realized this film does have a charm to it, and it did begin growing on me, and I began to let loose and just sit back and be there for the ride. The first 20 to 30 minutes didn't really get me hooked or really into anything at all, but it's when this movie showed me what it was about, then I began having fun. So if you want to kick back and fill an afternoon or go to the cinema, go see D&D because it's pretty safe, it's inoffensive, and it's, you know, kind of fun. So I'm going to give this one a solid 6.6 out of 10.
The bridge is protected by an ancient trap. We must not trigger the mechanism.
I may have triggered the mechanism. So, sorry.
Like if you enjoyed this video, comment to me what you thought if you've seen it, or if you have anything you'd like to see on my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me, and because I don't really want to go to college. And hey, thanks for stopping for a thought. Alrighty then, take care then. Bye bye now. See you in the next one, guys. Later.